Assalamu alaikum family. Today we would like to share with you some of Message to the Black Man in America, specifically a plan of action given to us by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I would like to read from page number 174 of Message to the Black Man in America, which was written in 1965. The messenger gives us a beautiful blueprint. It reads, the following blueprint shows the way. 1. Recognize the necessity for unity and group operation activities. 2. Pool your resources, physically as well as financially. 3. Stop wanton criticism of everything that is black owned and black operated. 4. Keep in mind, jealousy destroys from within. 5. Observe the operations of the white man. He is successful. He makes no excuses for his failures. He works hard in a collective manner. You do the same. If there are 6 or 8 Muslims with knowledge and experience of the grocery business, pool your knowledge, open a grocery store, and you work collectively and harmoniously. Allah will bless you with success. If there are those with knowledge of dressmaking, merchandising, trades, maintenance, pool such knowledge. Do not be ashamed to seek guidance and instructions from the brother or sister who has more experience, education, and training than you have had. Accept his or her assistance. The white man spends his money with his own kind, which is natural. You too must do this. Help to make jobs for your own kind. Take a lesson from the Chinese and Japanese and go give employment and assistance to your own kind when they are in need. This is the first law of nature. Defend and support your own kind. True Muslims do this. Because the so-called American Negro has been deceived and misled, he has become a victim of deception. He is today in the worst economic condition of North America. Unemployment is mounting, and he feels it most. He assisted in reducing himself to his present insecure economic condition. You, the black man, are the only members of the human race that deliberately walk past the place of business of one of your own kind, a black man, and spend your dollars with your natural enemy. The so-called American Negro has never in the history of America been known to boycott or criticize the white man as he does his own kind. He thus shows love for his enemy and hatred for his own kind. A true Muslim would never boycott the place of business of his fellow Muslim or black brother. A true Muslim is proud of the success of his black sisters and brothers. He recognizes that their success is a success. He recognizes the law of Islam. If one brother has a bowl of soup, you have half of that soup. Here, in this particular blueprint, Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us to recognize the necessity for unity and group operation activities. In 2014, there is still a critical need for our people to first recognize the necessity for unity and group operation activities. Without our unity, the messenger teaches us that our unity is like the mortar or the cement that unites brick with brick to form a solid wall. Without unity, or without mortar, without cement, when the winds come, when the tremors come, everyone and everything just falls apart. Our unity is the key. The messenger teaches us that our unity is more powerful than not just atomic but even nuclear bombs. Unity is critical in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. He told us, pool your resources, physically as well as financially. This is something, or actually this is a way of thinking that goes back to ancient Africa. This is an ancient concept. Some people would consider it a socialist idea. Whatever name or nomenclature you want to use to define it is irrelevant to the effect. Black people in the wilderness of North America are struggling and suffering. As a collective, we have families in this country where you have brothers and sisters that, because of the way they was brought up in the system, they think that they should go out and this brother go here and struggle to pay a mortgage on this house, while his sister's over here struggling to pay rent on an apartment, and another brother is over there struggling to pay the mortgage on his house. And instead of them three coming together in unity and pooling their resources, education, and qualifications for independence, and saying, you know what, we're going to come together and get us a nice house, maybe a 3-bedroom house, and now we're going to have equity on that property. We're going to share the bills as a third each. We're going to help out in the maintenance and upkeep of our property. And what we're going to do, we're going to collectively make sure that each one of us owns our own home. Make sure that each one of us own our own business. That is what they as a family unit can do on a small scale by simply pooling their resources physically as well as financially. And let's look at this. When we don't do that, when we don't think with that new way of thinking, we all struggle. And we see foreclosures. We see people move from this apartment to this apartment to this apartment to that apartment. They move here, then they have to worry about the car note. They have to worry about dental and health care. They have to worry about getting their hair done, their nails done, for food, for the electric, for the heat, all the utilities, the phones, the children, the unforeseen emergencies that come up. And as a result, they get overwhelmed. And the credit card bills start coming in. Then they see that their income is not able to keep pace with their bills. So they start ducking and dodging bill collectors. Eventually, it just collapses on them. And they're stressed out. And the situation becomes worse. And it's passed from generation to generation to generation. We can break that vicious cycle of poverty in one by pooling our resources, physically as well as financially, as taught by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. He says in number 3, stop wanton criticism of everything that is black owned and black operated. That crab in the barrel mentality, that self-hate, that self-doubt, that green envy and jealousy. It is so hard to get rid of the residue of Yaku's technology and the white man's slavery, suffering, and death in the wilderness of North America. However, we need each one to teach one. We need each one of us to resist and repel and to respectfully correct any brother and any sister that is for the destruction and division and the arguments and the chaos amongst our people. We need to mature and take the struggle to the next level. So we have to stop wanting criticism of everything that is black owned and black operated. Number 4, keep in mind, jealousy destroys from within, because it begins as a negative thought, and that negative thought produces negative actions, cause and effect. We have to, as they say in Christianity and Islam, we have to resist the devil so he will flee from us. We have to say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. We have to seek refuge from the rejected enemy, the devil. We have to realize and recognize that there is no little magical devils on one shoulder and little angels on another shoulder, but we do have a right and left side to our brain. We do have a right and left temple, not a physical temple, but we have a right and left mental temple. We do have to understand that our people are struggling in the wilderness of North America. And in that struggle, it's easy and convenient for us to put all of our burdens on some mystery God, to put all of the blame on some magical devil up under the ground. But the truth is, we have to take responsibility for ourselves. The truth is, we have to use our mathematical way of thinking. We have to use applied mathematics. God adds and multiplies. The devil divides and subtracts. We have to simplify this struggle so that a baby could understand it. That we are not talking about a sky god, and we're not talking about a magical devil. We're saying black people are God. We're saying white people are the devil. We're saying heaven and hell are nothing more than conditions here on the face of the planet Earth. We're saying that we, looking at the laws of nature, must act in harmony with the Creator's creation. And the Creator's creation is not based on illogic. It's not based on mysticism or magic or hocus pocus or miracles. It's based on mathematical laws. We are trying to get our people to become mentally resurrected from the dead. And in that struggle, the messenger told us, observe the operations of the white man. He is successful. He makes no excuses for his failures. He works hard in a collective manner. You do the same. We would be remiss if we did not study the operations of the white man. Now you may say, are you trying to pattern yourselves after him? Of course not. As the original people, we were robbed of the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of ourselves. Our culture was ignored. Everything you see in America, not some things, everything you see in America has its origin or its root in the black nation's culture. The arts, the sciences, the music, it all came from the East. It all came from Africa. It all came from the original people. And that information was passed down to the Greeks and the Romans and all these other European powers. And they took what they found amongst the black, brown, yellow, red nations on the face of the planet Earth, and they used it to benefit their people, to promote their desires, to push forward their agenda, to establish their way of life for their future. We must study them and observe the operations of the white man. He is successful. He makes no excuses for his failures. He works hard in a collective manner. You do the same. This don't mean that the white man just say, oh, we want to go to the moon. And just like that, they go to the moon. No, they said, we want to go to the moon. And they call on that best and that brightest. How do they do it? They observe and study the black man. They call in NASA black engineers, black mathematicians, black scientists that can help them attain their goals. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we be like that proverbial crane that knows how to pick up whatever is necessary to build with, and yet have that wrecking ball to knock down anything that is old and dilapidated or in our way? This is how the gods think. This is how we must build and we must destroy. We must study this system. We must understand technology. We must understand all of the arts and sciences of the universe. And we must incorporate what can help us become a stronger, unified, conscious, and aware people. And we must repel and reject all those and all of that which will hurt that aim and that cause. The messenger goes on to tell us, if there are 6 or 8 Muslims with knowledge and experience of the grocery business, notice when it comes to business, it takes 2 prongs. It takes knowledge and experience. We have to understand that we need to get that business mind. The old way of thinking is not effective anymore. We know that a lot of people simply can't get a job. So they have to have the vision and the wisdom and the skills to learn how to draw upon whatever they know how to do to create their own jobs. He said, if there are those with knowledge of dressmaking, merchandising, trades, maintenance, pool such knowledge. That's important. He told us, take a lesson from the Chinese and Japanese and go give employment and assistance to your own kind when they are in need. The Chinese in Philadelphia are very wise. They have that Chinatown, and when you go in there, you see that they don't just have Chinese language, they have that Chinese financial institutions. They have their own banks. They have their own schools. They have their own factories. They're importing and exporting with China. Here we are in America in 2014. Why shouldn't we be importing and exporting with Africa? Why shouldn't we be putting our brothers and sisters in Africa down with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we're learning over here so that we can help them to help us to help each other? We need them and they need us. They need help over there and we need help over here. But the blind can't help the blind. So we have to first do something for ourselves, because charity begins at home and then it spreads abroad. So the messenger said, this is the first law of nature. Defend and support your own kind. First law of nature, self-preservation. We have to have the concept of self-defense. Otherwise, anything that we do build is simply going to be destroyed. It has already been destroyed. We have black towns on Wall Streets all over the United States of America. And whenever the devil got envious and jealous and dissatisfied, they came right in and burnt it down, knocked it down, killed our people, locked them up, ran them amok. So we have to take that into consideration. Why build without having your own security system? Would you go in the house without locks on your doors or locks on your windows, without the means to protect your family and your personal property? White people do that. Insects do that. Fish do that. Birds do that. Common sense teaches you that you have to do that. Because the so-called American Negro has been deceived and misled, he has become a victim of deception. We have to learn how to be analytical in our thinking, to see the big picture. Often we see a piece of the picture and think that we see the whole picture. No, we're just looking at a piece of the picture. Our aim should be to see the whole picture. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is giving us some basic principles here that are very, very, very true. He said to us, if there are those with knowledge of dressmaking, merchandising, trades, maintenance, pool such knowledge, do not be ashamed to seek guidance and instruction from the brother or sister. Backtrack. From the brother or sister who has more experience, education, and training than you have had. Accept his or her, backtrack, accept his or her assistance. That is difficult for us to do as black men because we grew up under the myth of white world supremacy. So that concept that we should not seek assistance from a female that may have more education or training or skills than us. We have to be able to humble ourselves. We have to say within ourselves, oh, I'm willing to learn from anyone. You see? I wouldn't care if it was a man or a woman. I mean, if you are sincere and you're willing to help me to help myself, I appreciate your efforts. But a teacher cannot teach a student that is not teachable. We have to understand the importance of us seeking guidance from those that have the intellectual skills, or they may have the physical skills that we simply don't possess. If someone knows how to fix a car, why shouldn't I patronize that brother or sister? If my car broke, how much you charge to fix this car? You see? Why shouldn't we want to spend our few dollars amongst our own to at least let it circulate in our own community? Why shouldn't we go down and say, okay, I'm willing to help the community. If I have a business, I'm going to give back to my people. I'm not going to let my people bankrupt my business, but I am going to make sure that I give back whatever I can give back. I am going to take that extra step to help my people to help themselves. So if I can employ people in the community, if I could give back, if I could do donations, it helps everyone. It's a win-win situation. It keeps the business going. It protects the business. It keeps the community in harmony. All these things are beautiful things. All these things are found right here in Message to the Black Man in America. I advise you to get this book if you don't have it. I recommend that you read this book if you have not been blessed to read this book. But more importantly, those of us that have been blessed with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings, I humbly, respectfully ask that we come together and start implementing these teachings. Because I personally believe that it is the messenger's message that will guide us in this age of mess. Thank you for your time. I am Brother Minister Alifullah. Peace. Peace and blessings, family. This is Brother Minister Alifullah of the Supreme Angels, coming to you on behalf of the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Today, I would like to just build with the family on the importance of our unity. Promoting common unity in the community is a prerequisite to black nationalism, to organization. I personally love and appreciate the hard work that's going on around the world for many of our brothers and sisters in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. I personally appreciate the work that I see coming out of New York from Sinetta Studios and all those strong brothers and sisters working with him. Uh, I'll turn on Sinetta TV and watch the various exchanges, the interviews, the debates, the fun. Most importantly, I love the information. I realize the controversy that comes with doing something that broad in scope, and that's natural, and that's just part of the struggle. However, I think the brothers and sisters are weathering the storm. It's important that we are analytical and critical in our thinking. We're trying to improve on our works, and all those are good things. So I personally have nothing but love in my heart for my brothers and sisters at Sinetta Studios and what they're doing. Me personally, I learn from all of them. You know, I look at the videos and the wisdom of polite Dr. Ali. I see Sister Zaza, Professor Griff, Sinetta himself, the Red and Blue Pill. You know, it's just so much. The various Moors, and even though a lot of people uh, be looking at our Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters in a certain way, I appreciate the work and the wisdom that they're putting out there. We all don't have to agree. We shouldn't agree. Now, I mean, that's what makes us so alive. Our universe is designed because it has different life forms. It has different molecules and different atoms and different ideas and different flowers and different fish and different birds. This is how we survive throughout diversity. Everyone is not going to agree with the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. In the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you have brothers and sisters that are under the spiritual direction of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Salas Muhammad, Father Allah, Clans 13 next to the Nation of Gods and Earths, the Messenger's brother John Muhammad. I personally prescribe to the direct original teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the way he taught it from the 30s up to 1975. But I agree with the majority of all the branches of the Nation of Islam. I absolutely love my African centered brothers and sisters. I consider myself an African, but I prescribe to the life giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who teaches us that we're Asiatics. A lot of people wonder, Asiatics, what y'all saying? Y'all Chinese? No, when we say Asiatic, that word Asia, and to those that like to debate, check it out on Wikipedia. Asia is actually not a Greek name. Asia is an ancient name that the scholars admit no one knows how old it is. That's how old it is. But we do know that Asia is the largest continent on the face of the planet Earth. A lot of people say, well, it's a myth that the seven land masses used to be connected, but scientifically, according to the study of geology and geography, scientists have studied the isotopes of the soil and found that, yeah, this land used to be connected to this land. The same plants and animals over here on West Africa happen to match up with those over here along the coast of Brazil, for example. So there's a science supporting that which the Lamb taught us about us being Asiatic. Ati simply means citizen or member of a tribe. So when we say Asiatic, we simply mean world citizen. We mean our people worldwide, not just on the mother continent of 12 million square miles, but those Aboriginal people, the Black Dalits in India, the original people in Nippon, or now known as Japan, the original people of North America and Central America and South America, all the way up to the North Pole and the South Pole, to the original people of the Mayan and Aztec Empire, the Olmecs, all that's our people. I mean,
You can't go where we was not. You see? So when we say Asiatic, we look at it from the perspective that we're talking of world citizenship. That's how we define ourselves. That's how we classify ourselves. So today, I just wanted to send a shout out to let the family know that we plan on adding on to the cipher. The Supreme Angels are not here to necessarily debate. We're here to add on. We're here to share and to give a perspective from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We would be considered non denominational, like a crane. We're able to pick up and build with what works and what we can build with. And at the same time, we have a wrecking ball to knock down the technology, the spookism, and the lies that's out there. And our thing is just a love for our people, no matter where they are at on the face of the planet Earth. We pray within and we work without, that you tune in to Supreme Angel TV to learn more about the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of yourself as well as our open endings. Peace.